greedy of me.
About the Vision Hunt Decree.
The Vision Hunt Decree. Did something bad happen again?
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler
Tes
cherishes their
tes.
gems.
Hello guys.
Did something bad happen
Oke,
again?
hari ini kita mau ngapain ya? Hari ini kita ini aja lah. Kita naikin buit-buit buat ini supportnya Ayaka ya. Sama naikin Ayakanya juga.
The Vision Hunt Decree. Did something bad happen again?
A blade is like a tea leaf. Only those
Biar
who
ini ya,
sample it many times can
kayak
appreciate
ini ya.
its true
Berarti
qualities.
harus ngapalin combo baru ini. Kemarin udah terlalu nyaman sama ini. Karena damage-nya juga lumayan kan. Dapat DPS baru berarti harus menyesuaikan ini lagi.
The Vision Hunt Decree. Did something bad happen again?
Have you heard about the Vision Hunt Decree?
Berarti naikin level-level dulu lah.
So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
Let the show begin.
I see through you. Don't be a killjoy. We've only
Anjir.
just begun.
Protect us.
Alah.
Can't run.
My apologies.
Well, don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun. The hell you got?
Kamisato art. Sumetsu.
You can't run. Well, looks like I went too far. What's this? First.
Judgment. Punishment. Whirling snow.
Kok nggak sakit ya? Anjir. Atau salah kombonya ya?
Just
Butuh 9 lagi ya. Oh mungkin jatahnya ya. Lupa kemarin. Halo, halo. Halo, halo Kak Miki. Event lah, Bang. Bentar, bentar, bentar. Event apa itu? Event baru ya? Ini ya? Ntar ini naikin ini, berarti nanti aja lah. Belum terbiasa ini. Terbiasa buat Ayaka. Nembak pakai sniper, boleh lah. Oh di Fountain ya? Iya iya. Itu event apa sih? Oh event karakter baru itu ya? Iya kan karakter baru kan yang sniper itu. Anjir lama karena HDD anjir. Maksudnya ke ini soalnya hard disk jadi lama.
Seriously? But Mr. Morris, I don't understand, sir. How can you only be telling me this now?
I'm afraid that there's nothing really I can do. I'm really facing a crisis. My hands are tied.
But what about my film?
Selamat datang di live yang selalu gue
Well,
naik darah.
I'm afraid you have to
Anjay.
come up with something on your own.
Naik darah
Take it
gimana,
from me.
Bang?
Sometimes you just have to let things go. Same goes for this.
Padahal
game.
biasa aja loh. Kok naik darah?
Oh.
Hey, isn't that Xavier? So he's back.
Yoi, rada bikin gemes kalau newbie. Lah berarti aku emang bener-bener newbie kan, Bang? Makanya itu
Oh, why,
ajarin
if
lah.
it isn't the dear traveler and Paimon.
Bener-bener ini
I
soalnya.
really didn't expect to bump
Nggak
into
tahu
you
sama
here at this
sekali
time.
Genshin Impact kan? Ibaratnya.
Well, I was doing
Event,
just
ya ini.
fine
Ini lagi
until
event
I
ini.
received some terrible news just now. The investor I was working with for my upcoming film has fallen upon some hard times and is no longer able to provide the promised amount of funds.
Can't you just find a different investor?
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had signed an agreement specific to the Fontanalia Film Festival, stipulating that I cannot work with any other investors until the festival is finished.
Rada bikin
The
gemes.
Fontanalia Film
Anjir.
Festival? What's that?
Oh, Oh, is this your first time participating in Fontaine's Fontanalia Film Festival? Then allow me to fill you in. The Fontanalia Festival was established to commemorate the legendary Loch Knights, who went on a quest to search for the Oceanids and eventually welcomed the Hydro Arconageria. The holiday is deeply connected to the founding of Fontaine, as well as its unique laws and trials. It's one of the most important festivals for this nation.
But what's with that weird expression on your face?
Tapi
It's
ini,
like you're trying really hard to
aku
remember
belum tahu
something.
kumbu-kumbunya Ayaka kemarin.
Ah,
Kok nggak
I
sakit ya?
was just trying to recall the exact description from the books, in order to avoid any unnecessary arguments over semantics. I usually try to recite things straight from the source.
Well, either way, Paimon thinks she gets it now. It's just like the Windbloom Festival in Mondstadt and the Lantern Rite in Lille.
Yes, those are festivals of a similar variety. Who doesn't like a good festival? And just like those of other nations, Fontaine will hold a plethora of events around this time each year. To commemorate the Loch Knights, people will imitate them by putting on special costumes, raising golden cups, and going door to door asking for pure water. But a few years ago, Lady Farina started to find the whole idea a little drab, and so decided to change the part about pure water to sweets.
Really doesn't surprise Paimon at all.
The whole thing seems more akin to a carnival now, and it's quite popular among the kids. Every year you can hear a bunch of them saying, "Trial or treat."
Oh, that sounds pretty fun. But how does that connect back to the film festival you mentioned?
Ah, yes, it appears I've strayed off topic. I just got too excited after seeing you. Let me get back to the point. The Fontanalia Film Festival is an event proposed by the Fontaine Film Association this year. Now that film technology has matured as a medium, it's the perfect time to introduce more people to the art form. During this time, people may submit films to be evaluated, and the entry with the highest score will be given the Farina Award by the association.
The what award?
The Farina Award. You know, after the Hydro Archon. They coined it while Lady Farina was still in power, but even though things have changed, no one has made any motion to update the name. Perhaps everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro Archon any longer, Lady Farina is still Fontaine's superstar. Anyone with eyes can see the way she shines on the stage.
Huh. Alright. Guess the name does work pretty well when you put it that way.
Oh, but who would have guessed there'd be
Berarti
issue with
kalau
the funding? How will I ever explain this to
apa
Miss Chiori?
Fontaine belum kebuka,
Not to say all
belum
the other
bisa
actors who
event
traveled
ini ya?
all the way here from Inazuma.
Chiori? Sounds familiar. Where have we heard that name before?
Dia yang buka toko baju.
Yes, that's her. I asked her to oversee the event's art direction, including the design of the actors' costumes and appearances.
Oh, Paimon remembers now. Navia said that her clothes were designed by Chiori, and Kirara's outfit too.
How to describe her? Well, she tends to be pretty direct and can be very forceful when it comes to dealing with people. The fashion world in Fontaine has dubbed her the Thundering Seamstress. Her remarkable designs have led many Fontainians to become very interested in Inazuma. Anyway, Chiori is acquainted with all the actors I've invited from Inazuma. Without her help, I don't think I would have been able to get such an international cast for the film. She really is a kind soul.
Who are the actors from Inazuma? Do we know them?
Why don't the two of you accompany me to the Aquabus station to welcome them?
Bisa aja sih, cuma harus
Judging
dari
from the
Dora.
time, the Aquabus should be arriving shortly. Chiori will be waiting to meet me there as well.
Anjir pakai animasi ini aja ya. Loh. Oh, ini eventnya. Selama festival film, kamu dan Paimon bertemu dengan anggota grade yang istimewa. Dia tampak sedang mencari tamu untuk mengikuti acara ujian coba. Nah, aku nggak dapat primo. Tumben-tumbenan ini event nggak ada apa? Nggak dapat primo ya? Yang belum apanya? Harus nyelesain semua gitu. Oh, baru dimulai. Anjir, harus baca-baca males dah. Nggak ada ininya, nggak ada doublingnya. Oh ini. Loh, lah kok ada yang selesai? Bang, coba ke menu Paimon terus gambar bawah jam terus pilih penyelukaran. Apa itu? Toko Paimon. Terus penukaran kode. Oh, oh ini nih. Iya kah? Di bawah gambar jam. Lah iya, ini bener kan? Pengaturan. Coba ke menu Paimon, terus ke gambar bawah jam, terus pilih pencet yang penukaran. Penukaran. Penukaran kode. Tukar. Apa itu? NA. Nah, 88 AN TJ L 5 SD. Apa itu? Wih, lumayan. Dapat 60 dong. Ada yang lain nggak? Loh, oh penukaran di situ ya. Aku kemarin nggak tahu caranya dapat kode-kode apa itu. Pergi ke stasiun tuh berapa? 6 Lebih tinggi berarti 4 ya. Loh, kok kebablasan? Lupa ada satu yang buat nyubi-nyubi. Oh iya. Lah ya pas lihat itu lihat
Miss
apa?
Chiori?
Developer itu
Your talk with the
ada kode kan?
investor sure went
Aku nggak
fast.
tahu caranya
The
soalnya.
Aquabus hasn't even arrived yet.
Tapi kayaknya udah hangus deh.
And who are they?
Allow me to introduce you. This is the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise, we've heard
Oh,
the
ini
owner
juga
of
karakter ya?
Chiori's boutique is a skilled seamstress, so it's a real pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Why, thank you. I
Chiori.
strove to create an outfit that matched her high social station as the demoiselle. So tell me, what happened? I can tell the conversation didn't go quite as expected.
Well, it's like this.
Ugh.
I know, Chiori, you don't have to say it. You did remind me that this investor was a little bit sketchy.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
But how could I pass it up? He offered me twice as much as the others.
And therein lies the problem.
Yes, but just put yourself in my shoes.
Coba Genshin
After
Gift.
obtaining such an excellent
Oke, kita
script,
coba nanti.
it's only natural that I would want to make the most of the film. The budgets that the others had proposed were nowhere near enough. It's difficult to find someone willing to front such a large amount of mora, so...
Jangan om lah.
Don't be sad,
Aku bukan
Darkrai.
om
We
ini
might be
kak.
able to help scrounge some more
Anjir,
together for you.
dipanggil om dong.
Thank you, Paimon. That means a lot to me. But the cost of the film is staggering. I'm afraid that any mora we can scrounge together in a short amount of time won't even be able to cover the actors' fees.
We
Anjir.
need to move on. What's happened has already happened, and there's no changing it. But now's not the time to give up.
What? You're saying that you have a plan?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm simply saying I wouldn't give up just yet. The actors I recommended aren't just after Mora after all. Really? Then where do you live?
We Malazines live in Mercy Village. The only way to enter is from underwater.
Oh ini juga kemarin
Must be pretty tired after work every
disuruh
day, right?
ngikutin ini ya,
I mean, you have to swim all that
ngikutin
way
kapal
just to
sampai
swim home.
selesai.
We are so thoughtful.
Dapat
But some
ini
Malazines
juga ya.
choose to live in the Court of Fontaine because it's so much more convenient.
Harusnya skin Ayaka rilis
Alston.
sekarang, tapi malah waktu event di event Nazuma. Oh kalau ini Ayato aku tahu nih Ayato kemarin ya.
We've arrived, but I haven't even finished chatting with Abel yet. I also enjoyed Abel's introductions to Fontaine
Loh, kok
along
Ayaka?
the way. Everything you described was so clear and detailed that we can't help but want to hear more.
Thank you so much. I'm usually working here on this Aquabus, so I hope I'll have the chance to see you again. There are still many more places I'd like to introduce to you.
Welcome to the Court of Fontaine. Chiori, you sure have changed a lot. This is the first time we've seen you since you left Inazuma. I haven't realized it's been so long. I was in such a rush when I left that I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Thank you for extending the invitation, Mr. Xavier. I'm looking forward to a fruitful trip here in Fontaine.
It's an honor to have the head of the Kamisato clan visit us.
So they're who you meant when you said you had
Sorry,
actors coming
karakter
from
Inazuma yang tinggal di Fontaine. Oh,
It's the Traveler and Paimon. Wow, what a coincidence! Ayaka and I were just talking about
lah ini
them
kok
on the way here.
Yoimiya
I'm also here for the film.
kayak gini ya?
We just ran into Xavier
Kayaknya
earlier and came over
Yoimiya
with
itu
But I'm
rambutnya
not an
pink
actress.
kemarin.
Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka are the real actors here. I'm just tagging along with Ayaka to have a good time together.
About that, I mean, how was I supposed to contact you when I was making preparations for the film? I figured you were probably busy, and I didn't want to disturb you. So I could
Kau
only
main
keep you
TGC
in the
gak,
back
Bang?
of my mind while I sought other actors to play the lead roles in the film.
TGC itu
I've
yang
been
ini ya?
thinking about a
Yang
surprise
kartu-kartu itu
reunion
ya?
with you during our trip here. But you
Lah
still
cuma
managed to surprise
kemarin
me
doang
first.
pas event kok event apa ya
Oh,
kemarin?
so you all know each other already. My, what a
Quest story ring,
coincidence.
quest
What are
story
the
ini.
chances everyone could be brought together here like this? Why
Quest
don't we go to
story-nya
Hotel
siapa itu?
Tabor and
Disuruh
catch up
main
over a meal?
kartu kan itu.
I've already made a reservation.
Nggak tahu
Hah?
ininya.
Did you reserve 2 spots
Emang
for
dapat
us too?
apa itu?
Yes, of course, of course.
HQ menyelesaikan
I'll be
event
sure to
dan
tell the
senjata.
boss to
Wis.
serve a few more delicious dishes just to make sure there'll be enough food.
Very well. Then please, kindly lead the way, Mr. Xavier.
Lah ini event ini ya berarti ya? Lama berarti ya? Tak kira cuma dapat apa gitu. Event-event kayak ini.
Wow, the buildings in Fontaine are so tall. Just look at how big they are. And there's the fountain that Aval mentioned earlier. It really is a magnificent sight.
Jangan quest
And
utama
look at that huge spinning
lama, mending
sphere.
yang lain dulu.
Where does it get its power?
Lah kan
Wait a sec. Could it
ngurutin
be one of those
ke
clockwork mecha we've heard so much
biar
about?
tahu kan eventnya itu event apa ini. Ini kayaknya kalau event-event kayak gini ini ya apa memperkenalkan karakter barunya ya. Kalau event-event kayak gini berarti pakai ini aja lah. Kagak. Maksudnya nggak gimana? Ya kan event kan? Apa? Nampilin karakternya dia kan? Bukan Yoimiya-nya. Ini loh maksudnya event kan ini karakter sniper kemarin ya. Maksudnya story-nya karakternya gitu loh.
So this is what food from Fontaine is like. It sure is
Nanti
different from
ibaratnya
what we have in Inazuma. How should I describe it? It seems like you have to go through a lot more
Gue lihat
steps to make them.
chatnya Miko rasanya
Wait,
kasihan
Meal
sama
Ears
Miko.
too.
Yes. When I first went to
Apa itu?
Inazuma, I actually thought the food there tasted a little too bland. It took some time for me to get
Chatnya
used to
Miko
it.
rasanya
Let's
kasihan
get
sama
back
Miko.
to the purpose
Apa
of
itu?
this trip for a moment, shall we? How have preparations for the film been coming along, Mr. Xavier?
Well, I've already assembled most of the film crew, a lighting specialist, a prop manager, and a costume designer. I've also bought the copyrights from the novel's author.
Oh, it's called The Two Musketeers, right? I read the script you sent me on the way here. The story is pretty good.
Originally, I was planning to start filming as soon as Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka arrived in Fontaine, but I'm afraid I've run into a bit of a problem.
Oh? What is it?
It has to do with the film's investor, Mr. Morris. He suddenly informed me this morning that he's encountered some financial trouble and will be unable to release to me the amount of funding agreed upon.
It's said that Fontaine's legal system is well developed. If he has violated the contract, then can't you simply take him to court over the matter?
Well, I'm still more concerned about filming.
Oh
Even if
ya,
I were
lupa.
to take him to court, I'm
Masukin
afraid it would take
disk peta
months
ini.
before the case could even be heard.
Then, is there a way we could raise funds ourselves to solve the problem?
I've considered that option too, but unfortunately, it's difficult to gather such a large amount of mora on such short notice. Besides, we have to consider the film festival's submission deadline.
Mr. Xavier, if Ayaka and I were willing to perform for free, would that resolve the problem you are currently
Anjir,
facing?
gimana sih cara ngapinnya?
What? No, out of the question. To have you come all this way just to act for free? Oh, no, that won't do.
There's no need to worry, Mr. Xavier. My brother and I had actually intended to work for free after receiving your invitation. Inazuma has only recently reopened its borders, and needs to strengthen its
Nggak bisa
relations
dipin,
and
anjir.
cultural ties with other nations. We didn't have many collaboration projects with Fontaine in the past, so we hoped this trip would serve as a good start for the future.
Indeed. You could say that's the real reason why the Yashiro Commission agreed to come to Fontaine.
I understand, but having you two act for free just doesn't seem right.
Not at all. While we're officially here to conduct a cultural survey of sorts, we must express our sincerity if we want to establish formal cultural ties with your nation. This film will serve as proof of friendly cooperation and cultural exchange between Inazuma and Fontaine. It's my hope that the film can be finished and released as smoothly as possible. If you still don't feel comfortable with this arrangement, I would also be more than happy to be introduced to some other renowned individuals in Fontaine's literary and artistic circles.
All right, I'll do as you say. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to cobble together enough mora now, even if it means selling my house, my camera, and every single family heirloom.
Come on now, no need to go that far. I'll also help you out as a brand sponsor.
Me too. Even though I didn't bring much more
Lah ini kan
on this trip.
Yoimiya
better than
ini
nothing.
kan. Bang, apa?
You are too
Yang
kind. all of
rambutnya pink itu kan? Kok
I
ini
really
beda
don't
ya?
know how to...
Ew. Alright, enough about that. Now that we have Xavier's savings, my support, and 2 leads who are willing to act for free, I think we will be able to make this happen. So, instead of Mora, you'll help with filming and production.
Oh, but how can we help with that?
Ya,
We don't
yang
know much about making
di
a film.
Inazuma itu,
Alright,
yang
pull
deket
yourself
pohon
together,
apa itu?
Xavier. Tell us if there are still any open positions left among the crew.
Info dari mana? Nah, kemarin
All right, let me think. We still need a camera operator, a clapper loader,
karakternya
and
kemarin
someone
kan
to
itu kan
manage
Yoimiya,
logistics.
yang rambut
I
pink.
originally wanted to personally serve as director, but I've been too busy
Oh,
working
itu
as the
Yoimiku.
producer.
Oh, beda
So
ya.
the positions of director
Oh,
and
gitu.
director's assistant will also need to be
Oh,
filled.
ini kakaknya atau
That's
adiknya
what
gitu
the
ya?
director and the logistics support person do, but what's a clapper loader?
The clapper loader is responsible for using the clapperboard to record and organize the information of each shot when the camera operator begins shooting. The work requires both patience and careful attention to detail.
A clapperboard? Oh, you mean the
Bukan,
thing they hold
beda.
on
Oh,
the
beda ya.
whenever they start filming?
Yes, that's right. Are you interested
Kenal
in
juga
that
enggak
job?
Yoimiya sama Yai?
For sure. Paimon
Oh,
always wanted to try that.
hampir sama
Alright,
soalnya
then you'll get
namanya.
clapper loader. I can find someone from the store to
Oh,
help with
ini ya?
logistics.
Yoi,
What do you think,
Yoimiya, Yaimiku.
Fine
Oh
by
iya.
me.
Tak
As
kira
for
sama
our
itu.
camera operator, I was thinking of letting the traveler take the role.
Oh, he's great when it comes to using a camera. Paimon can't even count how many things we've taken photos of during our journey.
Yes, that's also what I was thinking. I noticed the traveler had an
Lu
eye
masuk
for
Discord,
photography
lu
and
masuk
composition
lu
when we worked
gua
together
ceramain sini.
previously.
Lah masuk
I'm
aja
sure
lah, Bang.
that's due to the traveler's
Masuklah.
journey across to that and all the places they've seen. After so many adventures,
Gas lah.
using a camera must be
Kita
second
ngobrol-ngobrol
nature
ya
by
kan?
now.
What do you say, traveler? Are you interested in the job?
Boleh, yang penting aku bisa kontribusi. Oke.
Thank you. It really means a lot to me. Come on, friend.
Ya kan
Let
berarti
me give
ini
you a big warm hug.
event karakter baru ya. Dia kan
So,
pakai
all that's
kamera
left
kan?
for us to find is a
Kamera
director
terus
and an
dia
assistant.
sniper.
Oh, me. I want to be the director's assistant. All we need to do is help the director, right? I can handle that.
All right, then all we need is a director. Oh, all the well-known directors in Fontaine are probably also busy working on
Memperkenalkan
their
ini
own films these days.
karakternya ibaratnya gitu.
I'm not sure who will have time to help.
Enggak lah, nanti tambah greget sama gue sama
Got a
kelakuan
theater
gue.
troupe recently by
Kelakuan
serving as an
gimana
artistic
sih, Bang?
consultant. She could be a good director, right?
Kayaknya
Besides, it's not like she has
aku
anything else
biasa
to
aja
do
loh.
right now.
Kalau ada yang tanya, aku jawab
Verena?
gitu loh.
Do you really think
Kalau nggak
Lady
tahu
Verena
ya,
would be willing to help us with our humble project?
ibaratnya inilah,
Isn't that the name of Fontaine's
jawab
hydro
seadanya.
My brother has already informed me about what
Itu nggak
happened here
ada
in Fontaine.
hubungannya dengan kameranya, cuma
She helped lead a
senjata
theater
jarak
troupe
jauh,
not
skill
too
dan
long ago, and
ultinya.
now she's taking up work
Nah
as a
iya,
director.
pasti ini kan ada sangkut pautnya
Well,
gitu loh. Tapi
I saw that
ini kan
musical.
kayak
Her
gimana ya?
performance was perfect.
Karakter
And the
baru ada
storyboards were also
kameranya.
excellent.
Terus ini
Don't let her former
memperkenalkan
identity intimidate you.
karakternya dia gitu ya.
She's the best candidate we can think of right now. You'll never know until you give her a shot.
fine.
Dan biasanya
You're right, Chiori. I'll do
kalau gue
anything for the
masuk
sake
ke
of my film.
Discord
Anything.
waktu dari respon left dan DC
Oh,
beda.
then I'll
Wis.
have to ask the traveler
Beda
in
kenapa,
Paimon
Bang?
to show me the way to Lady Farina's residence. I just hope she'll agree to help.
Do you need us to also come along?
No, there's no need to trouble you with this. Besides, you've
Ini
just
aja
arrived in
dibantu
Fontaine,
sama
and
temen
I'm
ini
sure there are
buat
many
Discord.
places you would like to visit.
Nggak
Just
tahu
leave this task to me.
cara
It's
settingnya
part of
soalnya.
my duties as the producer.
Very well.
Nggak tahu
Then we'll be waiting to
setting-settingannya
hear the
ini
good news.
Discordnya gitu maksudnya.
I'll go with you. By the way, you might want to consider bringing a gift.
Ini suaraku aman kan?
And don't worry, we won't simply drop you off at Farina's place.
Kok
We know
kayak
Farina pretty well by now. So
nggak
having
jauh
some
ya?
familiar faces there should help your chances. Besides, the whole thing was our idea in the first place.
All right, then I'll start making preparations. As for the gift...
A gift for someone who was once seen as the Hydro Oricon.
Jerry
I
belum
wonder
tahu
what she'd
dia
like.
Bang dia menggunakan
I
senjata apa dan
recall
seperti
that
apa
Lady
skillnya.
Farina once fancied a clockwork ring, so perhaps I should get another exquisite
Oh,
clockwork contraption for her.
Huh? Can't we just bring some desserts like the Fontinalia mousse?
But wouldn't that be a little too cheap? She does like desserts, though.
Isn't the Fontinalia festival happening right now? I heard Abel tell us on the Aquabus that Farina introduced the tradition of going door to door and asking for sweets. To do something like that, she must have a real sweet tooth. I agree with Yoimiya. If the gift is too fancy, it might actually make her feel more uncomfortable.
Alright then, let's go buy some Fontinalia mousse.
apa itu disuruh beli apa tadi?
But will that really be enough? We'll be asking her to do a lot of work, you know.
You're right. We need to further sweeten the deal.
Huh?
Malah lu sudah bilang dia pakai kamera dan
Fontinalia mousse?
senjata nembak.
Yes.
Lah iya bener
I'll
kan?
need a gift
Aku
that's
lihat
sweeter
ini
than
apa
any
namanya?
dessert in the world.
But what could that be?
Ininya. Coba karakternya itu.
Your words
Kan
of
gitu kan?
praise.
Ya, bukan sok tahu. Maksudnya nebak-nebak aja gitu. Oh, beda orang. Oh, beda orang ya. Oh, beda orang ternyata. Oke, oke. Is. Yang nggak tahu, Bang. Maafkan saya. Ini kemana ini? Balik ke sini. Berarti bagus dong. User newbie gimana ya? Sekalian tanya-tanya ya kan?
We're here! This is where Farina lives.
Okay, I'll go knock on the door.
Tapi masa kalau beda orang ini dong. Eventnya harusnya sama lah bang. Event dari karakter baru.
Who are you?
Nah, ini barunya bagus ya nih, Furina ya. Pada
Lady
pakai
Farina,
Furina buat
please allow
healer
me
ya
to
dia berarti.
introduce myself. I am Xavier, a film director.
Hello. Oh, is that the traveler in Paimon I see behind you? And who's this?
I'm Chiori.
Theory.
The one from Chioria Boutique. Hello, hello.
Duh,
So,
ini
what
event
are you all doing
memperkenalkan
here?
Theory ya.
Do you need something?
Did you just get up, Farina? It's already past noon, you know. Huh? Oh, Paima means the weather is so nice in the afternoon and the sun is so warm. Just like how you make us feel. Sleeping in late is a really smart idea.
No. I was just up late last night reading some novels. What does sleeping in have to do with the weather?
This is a small gift we've prepared for you, Lady Farina. We hope you like it.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a regular person like everyone else now. Oh, is this Fontinalia mousse? It's one of my favorites.
That's great! So, actually, there's something we need your help with. Given your renowned passion and understanding of
Ayo
drama,
maafin semua
I would
musuh
like
yang
to
ada
ask
di
that you
tadi.
serve as the director of
Yang
our
kayak
film
gitu
crew.
bang. Maksudnya gimana sih?
But didn't you just say that you're
Lah kok
a
malah
director?
marah-marah anjir.
Yes, but for this particular project, I'm mainly working as a producer.
Kan
Besides,
aku
I'm sure
tanya
that your
lu.
understanding of the performing arts far surpasses my own, Lady Farina.
Are
Tanya itu
Traveler
berarti
and Paimon
suhu
also part of the film crew?
menjawab dan membenarkan. Nah gitu loh bang.
Clapper loader and he's the camera operator.
Camera operator. That can be a pretty technical job, and it directly affects the final
Anjir,
quality of the film.
gabut dong.
Are you really up to it? No, I'm not questioning your abilities. It's just that I've never really seen you use a camera before.
Maybe you can come up with a test for the Traveler and see for yourself. If he can satisfy you with his camera skills, then you'd have nothing to worry about and can join the team. What do you say?
You sure are getting better at rolling with the situation, Paimon. Oh, I do wish to see how skilled the Traveler really is with a camera. Alright, how about this? We'll work with what we have. I'll give you some scenarios and see if your work is up to my standards. Very
Atau
good.
enggak event
It's
cup jangan
essential
malah
for the
quest.
camera operator to understand the director's vision. I'll make my
Kau
decision
pernah lihat
after
orang
seeing
gabut
your
yang
work.
mengalahkan semua musuh
Are you
di
ready? I have high
investigasi?
standards, you know.
Emang bisa ya?
Okay, grab the camera and I'll give you a scenario.
Anjir ini gimana sih? Posisi kamera. Oh, bikin cerita. Oh, ada ininya. Persyaratan harus menampilkan pemandangan workshop. Ini benar. Harus menemukan ada tempat yang beroperasi. Ini benar. Harus menemukan adegan suasana saat sedang bersantai. Harus menemukan adegan senjata produksi workshop dengan dalam kotak. Pemandangan.
Oh, it appears that you have more skill than I thought. All the shots had a great composition, and I could really feel a connection to the characters and their lines.
Yeah! Does that mean you agree to be our director, Farina?
Did you think I would
Lama ya
agree
berarti ya?
just like that?
Eventnya ya?
After our
Ibaratnya
performance of the Little
ini kayak
Oceanid, I've begun to make a name for myself
quest
again, you know. In
Archon itu.
fact, I've already had several troops approach
Udah
me for the
step-stepnya.
Fontanalia Film Festival. Unfortunately, the scripts were all pretty boring and didn't pique my interest. If others were to find out I agreed to work with you so easily, then, well,
Hey, but didn't we have a deal? What else do we need to do to convince you, Farina?
well, what about the pay?
Huh?
You know, how much you're willing to pay me to be the director? The pay is also an important factor for me to consider, you know.
Well, I can offer you this much?
What? That's all? If Nervilat were to hear of this, he could charge you with underpaying your labor.
I'm sorry, but our crew is in a tight financial spot at the moment.
I see. Well, even though it's highly unlikely now that I'll join your crew, there's still something I'd like to ask. Exactly what film are you planning to make?
Oh, our script is an adaptation of The
Si
Two
Dua
Musketeers.
Wait, you mean the suspense thriller novel that was a #1 bestseller?
Oh, so Farina's read it too.
Of course I read it. I've always had a keen interest in artistic works that strike a chord with the populace. I see. It all makes sense now. You must have used most of the budget to pay for the copyright.
Not really. The novel's author transferred the copyright to me practically for free once he heard that I wanted to make a film adaptation of the story. The lack of budget is due to another issue.
He probably just wants to get his name out there. So, Mora isn't the most important thing to him right now. It reminds me of a delivery courier who wears one of my designs while traveling all across Teyvat. I didn't charge her much for the outfit either. The exposure she provides for my brand is well worth it.
So, are you a big fan of this story, Farina?
Well, it's alright. The pacing of the story is good, but the character relationships could use some work. When I was reading it before, I always felt like some things were left on a rather unsatisfactory note. I have high standards, you know. Ahem, Mr. Xavier, if, hypothetically speaking, I agree to be the director, how much freedom would I have in terms of script revisions and creative interpretation?
Oh, as much freedom as you would need. I wouldn't dare doubt the tastes of Fontaine's greatest star.
Good. Then I'm free to alter the script as I see fit.
Absolutely, no problem.
Oh, jadi sutradara,
Alright.
Furina.
It seems that your crew really can't go on without my care and direction.
So, you agree?
Yes, I agree. Although the pay is well below what someone of my caliber deserves, a great script calls for a great director. I mustn't let a perfectly good story be ruined due to lack of funds. If you have fine cheese and bread, you wouldn't just let it sit on the counter and get moldy just because you lack an oven, right?
Oh, Hydro Archon above! I'm not dreaming, am I? Somebody pinch me.
There's no more Hydro Archon, you know. And it's still a little early to celebrate. There's a lot that goes into shooting a film. Although the trickiest tasks of finalizing the script and casting the actors have already been taken care of, we'll still need to reserve filming locations. Not to say set up lighting and props. And by the way, since we'll be filming The Two Musketeers, we'll need to find an action choreographer. Ideally, a professional who has actual experience with muskets.
Yes, I've thought about this as well. I was hoping that you might know someone who could handle the job.
Me? If this was before, I could have simply asked Glorand. But it's already been some time since I last talked to her. Navia can also use firearms, but unfortunately, her style is quite different from that of the characters in the story.
Could we ask the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol?
Oh, you mean the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
Yes, that's right. They work with muskets every day. I can't think of anyone more qualified than them.
They would be under Nervilette's jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I, don't have any connection with them at all. So, in the end, we still have to start by talking to Nervilette.
No need to go to all that trouble. I know their Captain Chevres.
Oh, you do? Wait, Chiari, how do you know the captain of the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
No particular reason. Running a business means dealing with some trouble from time to time, and she's helped me out on a few occasions. In return, I've helped her handle a few situations in which the Special Patrol couldn't get involved directly. So, we've gotten to know each other over time.
So you're saying there's been times when the Special Patrol needed a fashion designer to handle a situation? Your work is becoming more and more mysterious.
It'd be best to keep it that way. Anyway, enough about that. What do you all think about asking the captain to be our musket action choreographer?
She sounds professional enough. She is a captain, after all. I have no objections.
But I imagine the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol must be busy with their duties. Do you think she'd really have time to help with shooting a film? And then there's the issue of pay.
Well, it just so happens that she's also not the kind of person that's just after Mora. As for whether she has time, I'll have to go and ask her first.
Then I'll leave that to you. Macaroni's on sale today, so I've got to go. You can just tell me how things went when we discuss tomorrow's plan later.
No problem.
Having Farina join feels like a big boost to our team.
Of course. Just wait until the day of our premiere. You'll witness the true power of my
Anjir,
name
lama
in
bener
these
ini
lands.
ceritanya.
You'll be so glad I agreed to help. I can guarantee that even the standing tickets will be sold out. I'll be sure to ask some people I know to see if they'd be willing to act as
Kayak buat
extras.
drama ya ibaratnya
Seems
ini ya.
like you're finally getting more
Eventnya.
comfortable with your own reputation now.
I didn't ask for the Clapper Loader's commentary, Paimon.
Then let's get going. I happen to know where Chevres is today.
By the way, I'm curious. If my pay is so low, then what about our two lead actors? Didn't they travel here all the way from Inazuma?
Actually, they told us that they see the trip as part of a cultural exchange,
Oh,
so they
pemeran
didn't ask for
utamanya
any pay.
tadi Ayato sama Ayaka ya?
What? So is every person in Teyvat who doesn't want money gathered here to shoot this film? Don't tell me Chiori isn't being paid either.
I already knew Xavier from before, and he's also agreed to give my brand some good exposure.
It seems the gods have really smiled upon you, Xavier. And that certainly doesn't include me, mind you.
All right, this is the place.
But where's the captain? There's hardly anyone around here.
She's over there. The one with an eye patch reading in front of the newsstand.
Oh, her! Paimon could tell there was something different about her. She seems kinda intimidating.
Please wait here for a moment. I'll go fetch her. She's working now, so you might not want to get in her way.
Working? But isn't she just standing there and reading a novel?
Just trust me.
Oh, alright, let's see what happens then. Chiori sure is a mysterious person. She claims just to be a fashion designer, but she knows all these powerful people.
The court of Fontaine isn't particularly tolerant of visitors from overseas, so it isn't easy for a foreigner to promote their brand here. Even more so in the competitive world of fashion. Even a local like me just trying to make a film has to face all kinds of challenges. So I can only imagine what Chiori has been through to get where she is today. I'm sure that having more connections has definitely worked in her favor.
Reading on the job?
Detective novel.
One
Oh,
main character?
detektif dia.
No. Multiple. Branching storylines.
I see. How's the plot
Oh,
coming
Chiori
along?
ini detektif ya?
One of the main characters is about to make a choice that will affect the rest of his life. I'd wager he's going to make the wrong choice.
Any way to speed things up? There's something I need your help with.
You know that doesn't depend on me. It all comes down to what the character chooses.
Which is exactly why I'm here to help.
All right. It appears he made the wrong choice in the end. Halt!
Huh? What's going on?
Hand over whatever you're holding.
Oh, it's just a book. I didn't buy anything else.
Then I'm sure you wouldn't mind letting me have a look.
Excuse me, officer. I don't mind you standing around here, not purchasing anything, but I'd prefer if you didn't disturb my customers. It's bad for business, you know.
Don't give me that act. You won't be able to get off so easily either. I am Chevras, captain of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. I will say this one last time. Hand over whatever you're holding at once. And before you do anything unwise, let me remind you that I'll have you on the ground before you can even think about making a run for it.
All right. I'll give it to you. But please let me say something first. If there's any contraband in that book, then the shopkeeper here is the one who slipped it in. I don't have anything to do with this.
Why, you trying to leave me on the hook, huh? You were the one who said you wanted it.
Save it for the interrogation room. Take them away, Letelier.
What's going on here? One second you're reading a book and the next you're escorting people away.
And who are... Oh! Aren't you the traveler who's been all over the papers recently? Chiori, I'm assuming what you wanted to ask me about has to do with them, right? Maybe I can let you in on what's happening then. Now that Vache has been brought to justice, no new shipments of synth will be made and distributed to sellers. The Fontaine guards have been busy collecting the remaining synths still circulating on the market. Thanks to a tip from our reliable source here, this should be the very last batch.
Oh, so you were pretending to read a book in order to catch the bad guys! Oh, Paimon almost forgot to introduce ourselves. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler and Xavier!
Hey, I'm Chevraz. You probably already heard me introduce myself, so I won't bother repeating it.
Yeah, why didn't you make a move as soon as you had the chance? Were you worried that my intel wasn't accurate?
No, I wanted to see if the shopkeeper would turn himself in first. All he had to do was come up to me and say that he didn't know where the synth had come from. If he did that, then I wouldn't have had to press charges on him.
He had the whole day to turn the synth over to Chevraz. But instead, the moment I came up and blocked Chevraz's line of sight, he took the opportunity to sell it off.
Yep, he made the wrong choice, even though the right choice was right there in front of him.
But you knew they wouldn't make the right choice.
Yeah, I knew. I was just hoping I'd be wrong for once. Enough about that, though. What did you want to ask me about?
Oh, you see, it's like this.
The Two Musketeers. You certainly have a good eye for a story. So what do you need me to do? Just be the action choreographer for the actors?
Yes, that's right. I want to make sure we get all the details right. I want the actor's posture and understanding of firearms to be as realistic as possible. However, I'm afraid this work will require a bit of your time, since you'll have to be present whenever we're filming. Also, as for the pay...
No need to say any more. I'll join.
Huh? Just like that?
Really? You're willing to help us with our humble film project?
Sure, it's no big deal. As I said, we've wrapped up our investigation here, so I don't have any other tasks on my plate for the moment. Besides, I personally really like this novel. I even have the collector's edition at home. Stories where justice prevails over evil never get old for me.
Then we've got a deal?
Yes, I'll see you on set tomorrow.
Oh my! I can hardly believe it! I should tell Lady Farina immediately. Oh, and I must tell the prop manager and lighting technician to get everything ready. We start filming tomorrow!
Calm down, Xavier. The film is going to take more than just a day to finish. Still, I should also head back now and start preparing the actors' costumes and makeup.
Alright, guess that's it for today then.
Traveler, Paimon, please stay for a moment. I have something to tell you.
Then I'll take Xavier back. Poor thing. He's so excited that he can't even walk straight anymore. I don't want to spend our first day fishing our producer out of the fountain. Yep, see you tomorrow.
So what did you want to tell us, Chevraz?
Have you read The Two Musketeers? The story is about a pair of children born into the household of a baron, and their struggle to survive together and take revenge for their mother. They were raised at the baron's estate, where their mother worked as a maid. The two were illegitimate children that the baron had with the maid, so they were never treated well by anyone. One day, upon returning home, they found their mother had been murdered and left dead on the floor. It was quite evident that the culprits were the other members of the baron's household, who never had any kind words to say to them. However, the baron was able to exert his influence and keep the whole thing under wraps. The mother's death was eventually deemed as a suicide, and there was no chance of bringing her murderers to justice. The two siblings decided to flee and someday avenge their mother. Many years later, members of the baron's family suddenly started turning up dead one after the other, all killed by gunshot. A rainbow rose was found on each of the victims' bodies, being the flower that the kid's mother liked best. The Baron believed that the mother's soul had come to take vengeance on him, so he lived in fear each day. But it was actually those two siblings who had fled all those years ago. They relied on each other to survive and trained day and night, eventually becoming adept musketeers. They used all of their abilities to collect evidence and clues
Halo Bang
before
Putu.
executing their plan.
Terima kasih sudah subscribe.
Their actions let the truth behind their mother's
Sehat-sehat
death be
selalu
known
dah.
to all.
Lancar rezekinya. Anjir.
An exhilarating story.
Bang Putu Adi Praditya.
The Baron got what he deserved for his evil deeds, and justice was able to prevail. It was just the kind of story I enjoy.
Oh, so is that why you were so willing to join our crew, Chevras?
You could say it was one of the reasons.
Oh, you mean there were other reasons too?
I've read the reports about you. Whether it was at the trials or when you lent your hand to resolve our nation's crisis, you've shown that you've got a strong sense of justice, as well as a
Amankah?
great mind for deductions.
Aman.
Yes, you're as
Apanya
sharp
yang
as I
dulu ini,
expected.
Bang Arga?
It seems you've experienced many similar
Ini
situations
lagi
before.
event dulu nih.
There's been a recent murder case involving muskets.
Ternyata
The
panjang ya
perpetrator's
eventnya.
methods appear to be very similar to what is described in the novel.
Huh.
Tadi
Really?
mau ini jalannya.
Didn't see anything about
Aman
that
sih.
in today's papers.
The
Tadi
Marechaussee
ceritanya
Phantom
mau
hasn't yet
ini,
released
mau
any
apa?
information to the public because the
Naikin
investigation
level-levelnya
is currently at a standstill.
yang karakter
The
baru ya.
murderer is extremely cautious.
Tapi kok nggak sakit ya? Kayak kayak
Involving
kemarin ya
firearms.
aku ini ya.
But not that many people use those in
Atau
Fontaine,
salah
right?
combo atau gimana ya?
Impossible. We perform a routine inspection of our firearms and ammo reserves every day. If one of the weapons had been fired, it would stick out like a sore thumb. Besides, I trust the members of my platoon. However... Well, that's all I can disclose about the case today.
Huh? What do you mean?
I hope you all can go back and get some shut-eye. You can decide tomorrow whether or not you'd like to
Minus
join the
resin buat
investigation with
Navi
me.
ya.
I'm aware this
Ini
might
ya
not be the ideal
butuh
time to add more to
ininya.
your plate, but the more capable people we have,
Apa
the
namanya?
better the chances that justice will prevail. Carrying out investigations isn't actually
Buat
supposed to
nyap
be our
karakternya dia
responsibility.
ya atau gimana?
Our job is to apprehend the perpetrators. Finding them is really up to the Marechaussee
Event besar
Phantom.
selalu panjang
You could say
ceritanya.
I'm taking
Oh.
part in the investigation out of personal interest.
Tapi ini
I
event
don't
kayak
want
ini ya.
people to see muskets in a negative way, and also I'm
Developernya
concerned
mikir
about the
ini
similarity
loh.
between the
Apa?
crimes and the story.
Cerita
You
apa tadi?
They might be
Terima kasih.
connected somehow?
I suspect so. Just to make myself clear, this is not an order, nor is it a deal of
Cerita
any kind.
Indonesia anjir.
It's a request, nothing more. If you two have any interest in the case after we finish filming tomorrow and are willing to assist me, then I would be most grateful.
Baru level 70, senjatanya baru level 80. Belum talentnya.
Yeah, you're right. Paimon's getting a
Berarti
little
bener-bener
tired
ini ya.
too. We've
Ngebuild
really been
satu
hustling
karakter
all
itu
day.
You'd better head back and get some rest. It's good to
butuh
keep a
banyak
calm
ya.
mind, especially when you're about to make an important decision. Otherwise, when the moment comes, you might end up like that shopkeeper and not even realize that the right choice is right there in front of you.
Belum dapat. Mana lagi nih? Kok gak langsung gitu ya? Oh lah ini 7 jam dong kebukanya. Oh ini cerita. Ini juga bisa kah? Nah, ini menuju ke situ apa? Oh yang bawah-bawah ini ya. Mini games ya. Oh, tak kira sekali event itu dia langsung bisa nyelesain, ternyata ada step-stepnya ya. Kayak sehari sekarang gimana, sehari sekarang gimana gitu. Zona tembak bidik. Sekaligus jidat lu. Apalagi sih, Bang? Headshot, oke. Kalahkan 10. Loh, kok kena? Apa ini? Lah, anjir. Oke. Loh, apa itu? Oh, oke. Mana lagi gak ada? Oh, itu. Event G itu selalu ada waktunya, kalau mau speedrun ya nunggu 3-4 hari. Oh, oke oke oke. Berarti cuma sekali doang ini. Keren, story quest Navia. Wah, belum kebuka aku, Bang. Halo, Bang Aris. Halo, halo. Live nggak ini, Bang? Nah, ini live kan? Kok nanya live nggak, anjir? Lah, Abang ngechat di mana kok? Tanya live atau enggak? Astaga. Santai, Bang, sering ketemu view begini. Ini apa ini? Ngikutin apa ini? Alah, nggak ada doublingnya dong. Di streamer yang sering gue kunjungi di sebelah, setiap datang malah minta face reveal, padahal sudah diperlihatkan. Kalau ada doublingnya nambah ukuran update-nya. Oh, gitu ya. Mana ada? Ini kemarin aku tak update semua sih. Masa nggak ada doublingnya? Atau ininya? Maksudnya developernya. Gitu ya? Lah aku udah face reveal loh. Emang dari sana. Oh. Si MC emang bisu. Oh ini ada dua ini. Loh kok malah ke situ. Oh bisa teleport ternyata anjir. Iya kah? Dalam tembakan tipuan daya rumit melakukan suruh buat ini. Iya kah? Nah ini kemarin 12 giga ya update-nya.
Whirling snow.
Anjir.
I'll protect us.
Oh, aku paham sekarang. Oh, skill apa?
My apologies.
Skill barbara itu ngasih air di ininya. Terus ngehit kita jadi es gitu ya. Oh, baru paham.
Embrace the ice. Unbreakable.
Apa itu? T itu apa? Anjir.
Whirling snow.
Iya, kalau di PC atau laptop ini kemarin 12 giga.
Take flight.
Scatter!
Our bond is strong. Let's.
Gak bisa cepet ya? Oh, udah stamina-nya habis dong. Anjir, ada waktunya ya? Aku lupa anjir.
Germinate!
Lah. Lagi. Ternyata ada misinya, ada waktunya ya? Biasaan bawaanmu kalau main Ayaka. Iya kan?
My apologies. This way.
Spring forth!
Embrace the ice.
Propagate!
Let the show begin.
Anjir. Oh, skillnya ini butuh stamina ini ya.
Dissipate. Out of my way. My apologies. Yeah. Sakura swirl. Yeah. Whirling snow. My apologies. Yeah. Yeah.
Duh. Oh, butuh 4.000. Lagi-lagi. Berarti butuh ini ya. Biarkan aja. Loh, lah kenapa? Kan tadi 4 ini kan. Gak apa-apa kah bintang 2?
Mark 2. Whirling snow.
Selalu
Kamisato art. Sumetsu. Let's dance. Stand with me. Come on, we can do it. Don't break my glasses. Animal hypostasis emulation. I'll settle this. Dissipate. Sakura swirl. Stand with me. Out of my way. Swirl, Mark 2. Absorption test. Let the show begin. Yeah. Embrace the ice. Animal hypostasis emulation. Stand clear. Our bond is strong. Lightning, terrified. Kamisato art. Sumetsu. Yeah. Yeah.
Anjir gak bisa dong. Anjir gak bisa dong. Berarti udah aja ini berarti. Ini kan syuting. Ini apa lagi? Oh gitu ya. Sedapatnya. Oke, berarti yang penting primonya aja ya, yang lain nggak usah gitu. Hilen. Iya, kalau karakternya udah di build mungkin bisa dapat semua. Oh, ini apa ini? Total score. Oh, itu tadi ya buat ininya. Lah mentok 2000 doang. Kalau ada anu lompat. Kalau naikin kelipatan 2 kali, ntar mungkin mau cut iya kah? Oh, loh, apa ini? Eventnya ada ini juga dong. Targetmu zona
A
merah.
blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Bang ikut. Maksudnya gimana itu? Maksudnya ikut gimana? Dan ini aku belum paham juga loh. Maksudnya gimana sih ini? Disuruh ngapain? Maksudnya gimana sih? Oh, aku nggak bisa. Masukkan. Anjir, gak paham. Anjir, gimana sih? Bangke, maksudnya gimana? Lu jangan bilang ikut-ikut, kasih tahu gimana dia gimana. Masukin boneka ke gawang kita warna kuning. Maksudnya gimana? Bisa aja lah. Oke, dapat apa ini? Dapat senjata dong. Ganti, ganti.
A
Loh,
blade embraces
kamu
its
ada ke-op?
duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Cuma masukin yang biru-biru doang ke dalam kotak merah. Gas aja bang, eventnya ntar tambah susah. Apa itu tambah susah? Tambah susah apanya? Ya itu tadi. Lah nggak tahu apanya itu. Cuma masukin yang biru-biru
A
ke
blade is
dalam
like a
kotak
tea
merah.
leaf. Only those who sample it many times can appreciate its
Emang ada
true
ya kotak merah
qualities.
tadi ya?